Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd show you what I've been working on the last couple days, kind of through the weekend. I haven't had a lot of time to work on stuff, and I got three different little projects going on. While the big project's up in the air over there, so I'm trying to get that done as well. But this for the Anvil Pair City, that's going to be on the Reforged Eden server. Um, Been working on this a little bit. Started to get some LCDs in place. A little walkway into the building here. I've got one issue, and I don't know how to resolve it. You see how the club disappeared over there? It depends on the angle you view the building at, whether or not that club word is visible. It's kind of driving me nuts. I run into this issue a lot when I try to run something behind something else on an LCD, like it's doing here, like the square block. Yeah, it does that, but yeah, then if I go over here, you can't see it, but if you go over here, you can see it. So a little bit of issues with that, and then some kind of weird wallish thing here. But I've been working on the interior a lot. I added an elevator to this now. Now I haven't like put much inside the interior yet. I've been really watching the old size class. Um, right now we're at 1.28 on size class. I got a little room, and most of the interior is kind of set up. I need to add some more lights and stuff, and a lot of little deco things, whatever I can get away with. So we've got three floors. This floor, while basically all of them connect to an elevator, there is a stairway going to the second floor up here, which I kind of modified the inside of this a little bit. And then you have the top floor well, technically not the top floor. There's kind of another like floor above that and a floor above over here. This is going to be like the main room here, which is behind the A on the side of the building. Um, Kind of trying to go for, I don't know, maybe it looks a little Creole. I guess that the colors are different, and it's trying to be different than Creole. I kind of like that look, almost like you're looking at some kind of futuristic Tron-like thing or something. I'm not sure. Um, so this is kind of what it's going to look like overall, and all the sides are different, and it's obviously not trying to be a functional building in any sense. So it's just a decorative building. So I don't have to worry about storage or weapons or any of that fun stuff. But it's coming along. Another 3-4 hours, and I probably can finish it up. Maybe less than that if I'm really jamming and figure out what I want to do right off the gates. So the next thing I wanted to show is another concept SV. Now I've been working on a few concept SVs lately. They're not over there. I guess I don't have the other two over here. But basically, after building the Scar Venom, I was trying to come up with a different method for an SV to attack POIs with, rather than fixed weapons like lining up at turrets. This one does kind of the opposite. It's a bit kind of squirrely looking, I'll admit that. So yeah, I'm not going to give this one a good rating on the looks, really. But what it's got going on is it has 12 plasma turrets angled down, and they're staggered. So like one row can shoot down over the other row, but this also plays works forward as well. So all these turrets can shoot independently forward and down, basically. And that's what I was concerned about most, I should say. And then it has some minigun turrets on it as well, which are basically set up to kind of protect it from drones. So ultimately, I would basically assign these minigun turrets to be able to shoot at drones and troops and stuff like that, and I would probably set all these plasma turrets to only fire on like the POIs. So I'll have to mess with those settings yet. But that's about it. It's pretty quick and maneuverable. It isn't as tough. It's using a combination of mostly steel, but also some hardened steel around areas I wanted to protect more. Now, honestly, when I'm flying this thing, I'd probably be flying it way zoomed out in third person, kind of like what you're seeing here, where you could easily see, like, say this was POIs down here. If you fly over it, your turret should be able to just smack it. And another advantage too is you could just keep on chugging away and doing loops and circles and move and try to avoid incoming projectiles, because you never have to like concentrate on like lining up a crosshair on anything. It's more automated like a tank would be. So I don't know if this will work. If it does, it'd be cool. But this is just kind of a concept idea on what I could do with an SV. I'm trying to get this spawned in game. Right now I'm lacking very little resources. I have like everything ready to, everything cooked for it, except for I'm missing like one, what is it, a bridge, I think, or a matrix. I think one matrix, one small matrix short on getting this spawned in game. And I do want to test it out. I do want to play with it and see how it does. Just a different idea. Okay, so on the next part here on the battle CV, this is still like my main focus, and some energy's been putting on this, but it's been kind of slow. I haven't had a lot of time really, and I keep on chugging away at this. And I think I'm out of fuel. Take care of that. So I'm getting more and more of the engineering area finished up. Now, last time I showed you this, I was saying I'm just going to leave this front area oxygen free. Well, I decided to go against that, and there were some comments too that would prefer it to be oxygenated. I think that's how you say it. So what I'm doing is I put in some other things here to keep these front tubes sealed. I also put in these little shutter doors, which does seal that area. I'm missing some textures. So you got a blast door and a shutter door behind each one of these now. So I could fit that easy enough without like destroying the whole room. As in like a force field, the force fields are interesting, but I tell you what would happen if I were to try to use one of those for this, is I would have to, or unless it was a really tiny one, is I would have to cut away literally all of this, the block work I got around here, because the force fields can't go through those blocks, unless I put in like the same size one here, and I'd rather have the door in that case, I think. So that's what's going on there. As in the thruster repair, I'm trying out this block here. Basically, I'm looking for a block, and if this doesn't work, I'll replace it with another one that I know will work. But I'm gonna see if this particular block is airtight. If it is, problem solved. That'll keep us oxygen seal around the thrusters, and I think all should be good. So you can still get in there and repair or place a thruster in, like this case over here. And then this front room I left largely just empty and very basic. I did texture it, but I figured if a player wanted to add some xenoblocks or something in the area to strengthen up the hull, and you can kind of see that this is kind of like smack dab in the front over here. Now there's still a couple rows of lag shot blocks. I did reduce it a little bit though, in anticipation that maybe players would add their own blocks in the area. Maybe I'll modify these roof beams too, so they're not in the way of getting more blocks in there. But I'm trying to really watch the weight on the ship. Now I would just love to just pack everything full of like combat steel and just make this, just a brick tank. But then I'm not going to be able to move it, and that's a problem too. So the next thing I actually want to do is address the thruster issue that I believe I'm going to have here on forward thrust to start with, and that is I'm going to probably rip into this back area and try to come up with a different solution, allowing me to keep the same amount of strafing thrusters or potential strafing thrusters, but also try to slam in a spot back here to add in 2 large thrusters to help with forward propulsion. It's got the 2 extra larges way over here, but taking it up into space, even how it sits now, and it had a little bit of weight reduction from the last time. I worry that it's still going to be too heavy to hit maximum speed in space, which is something I really, really want it to do, or be capable of doing, at least by adding a quantum core into it. Now, I can also shave CPU by removing some more turrets and stuff, but I'm going to try to keep as many on as possible when I release a ship, and then everything beyond that would be dependent on crew and quantum cores, or an advanced core if you happen to ever come across one of those somehow. Not even sure how to get that. But we got a little heads up on how you get the quantum cores and things like that, or the core extenders and whatnot. So engineering's getting a little bit more finished off. I'm working on pathing through the area. I've got some pathing issues, and I got to connect basically this floor to the floor below it. Inside the engineering area, I would prefer to do that. There's another access point here, and I'm trying to keep the interior very simplistic. I didn't really want to take the main access this far back into the ship, but I think it'll be beneficial because I prefer on this ship to have a single elevator to get you everywhere, including the first-person bridge, which is up top over here, and that's why I got the elevator so far back, so you could gain access to that. Now, this section here that is unfinished, and I'm not sure if these blocks are going to stay carbon substrate. I'm just kind of plotting things out right now, trying to figure out how I'm going to do the pathing. But the secure bridge, I do plan on adding in this area, and it would have a shell of combat steel around it, and kind of away from the side halls, like a lot of away from the side of the ship, like a lot of these other parts have been placed as well. So I got this room. I'm going to seal this area here, so I'm going to probably have to modify some block work, and this little curvy thing might end up going away in the process, but that's okay. And then beyond that, I don't plan on installing any kind of farm in here, so I'm not really worried about a farm. After that, it's open hangar and probably a crafting section and some storage. And once that's in place, I think, well, basically this part here is taking a while, and once I get to the hangar, it'll probably speed up, where the hangar is like one big room. Now, right now, the floor of this area is a double layer of blocks, except for I didn't fill in this area yet. I'm scared to, because I know it's just going to weigh a ton if I do it. Of course, it'll make it stronger, but that's another thing. I wish I could, it's not really a nice way that I could put in a floor here or allow a player to put in a floor with like xenoblocks or something after the fact. Not if I finish off the ship. So it's tricky. I'll try to come up with the best solution. I'm trying to look for opportunities to leave like areas that are kind of open where you could fill them in with like more armored blocks and things like that. But it's rough. I've never really tried to do that before with a ship, and if I finish off the interior the way I like to do, it makes it a little difficult and challenging to pull that off, especially with the hideous textures you get on xenoblocks. Well, I won't say hideous, just not, they don't work with this scheme at all, put it that way. They could probably work with some alien stuff or something, but so that's where I'm at. Now, I would like to get this ship finished up this week, and I would like to get it spawned into game as well, so I can kind of test it out and kind of look for bugs and annoyances and issues and potential problems with it. So right now, I don't know of any problems with it, but it's not even done. So sort of the thrust power. I want a little more, or the potential for it to have more. It probably won't have it from stock. as I'm going to have to be kind of as light as I can on thrust, but um, I mean, another thing I'd like to also get on the ship is, you know, it's got two large and one extra large for lift, which is enough, um, probably to pick up the ship with its planned three 320K cargo systems. I think two of those actually might be ammo in this case. As I'm I keep on steering away from putting in like just a regular cargo system because ammo system can also be cargo, but a cargo system can't be ammo. Same thing with harvest. If you're building a harvester, before I kept on putting in like a regular storage and then a harvest storage, and now I'm just thinking, well, I'd rather have a single, less complicated harvest storage because you can put regular stuff in the harvest box too. So it's just, yeah. So in some of these cases, I'm certainly steering away from regular storage systems because I just find that they have less in-game use versus either ammo or harvest storage boxes, depending on what the ship is about. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at, and I was just kind of spawning some older things in here, just taking a look at how they play with Reforged Eden, and I didn't expect any of these to play nicely, and they don't. So it's like, yeah, these kind of things, they all could work in Reforged Eden with enough quantum cores, but they weren't designed for it. And here's my this is the MX12H. This is the one I modified to be CPU compliant in vanilla, but never put it to the workshop because I didn't like the cuts I made, like removing main thrusters and some reverse thrusters and things like that. In Reforged Eden, it plays even well. Yeah, you see, still, even beyond that, even if this was okay with vanilla, but Reforged Eden is still more of a problem. So I know I can get this to 60,000 CPU with Reforged Eden, but yeah, I would have to like cut even more from what the vanilla version is yet. So it's just like, yeah, the days of building larger ships, you know, pretty much like anything MX 12 or higher, like MX 12, was a 14, 15, and 18. They're all just too much. Um, just kind of unfortunate. I kind of miss being able to build larger things like that, and like something like this is ridiculous on CPU. Yeah, you can get to 60,000. It's 153,000. I think this has RCS on it yet. So yeah, it's. Oh my God, yeah, it does have RCS. 388 RCS in this thing. Woo! Wow, yeah. I think that even outdoes the MX18 in the amount of RCS count it had, but that's not a thing anymore. So like, yeah, a lot of CPU could be lost on this from RCS, but there's no way even close that this would come out to working in Reforged Eden. There's too many guns, too many thrusters, too many parts. It's far beyond. Um, the very old Basilisk. I was just kind of taking a look at that too. This again, it's got a lot of RCS in it, so there are some things to shave off some CPU, but I know it won't come out even close. On these newer tanks that I'm building, like the Scar tank over here, this was a little under CPU in vanilla, with you know, but it's too much again for Reforged by about 15,000 really. So yeah, even like something like this without quantum cores doesn't work, which kind of sucks. It was my main battle tank I wanted to use in game, but it's not gonna happen in Reforged, at least unless it's got stripped a lot. Um, Now some things I could strip and save some CPU. Like I really don't need the cheese graters up here. Um, if I were to cut more things off from it, I would probably start looking at the Gatling guns. It's got 6 of them. Um, the turrets, I don't even know if you can keep a full barrage of turrets on here. This was like vanilla standards on max turrets you could add to a tank. Now those rules don't apply to Reforged Eden. You can double up and run more turrets of even the same type and things like that in Reforged Eden, which is very cool. I'm glad it works that way. It gives you a lot of potential. But the CPU is a killer. CPU really is a killer. So that's about all I've got for today to show you. I'm going to try to get some more work done this afternoon, hopefully, and try to jam on this a little bit more. I'd like to get this building finished and given to Pear as well. It's getting there. It's close-ish. And I definitely want to get this done, and I do want to bring that weird Scar ship in game and test it out and see if this weird theory concept actually works, or if it would be just kind of a lost cause. That's why I didn't put my best effort into texturing this. It's a very quick texturing job right now, just to and even on shaping. I think I could improve the shaping on this design quite a bit if I put a little time into it, but I don't want to, because I don't know yet if it's really going to work, and I don't want to put a lot of time into something if it fails, because then I won't want to release it, and then it was just a waste of time. So I'm fairly, I don't know, I'm thinking the thought behind it technically should work for how it's intended to be used, but you know, hard to say. Until you really get it in the field in a real circumstances and see how it performs. Yeah, I did release this a couple days ago now. Pretty happy with this. I'm not sure if I got the newer one spawned here. Yeah, I do. So this is the now this one, as an interior, is probably one of the ugliest interiors I've done in a long time. But I've really had hardly any play or anything I could do with so many core blocks and things you got to install in here. I just got to leave all these slots open for function, and I really could not try to do much at all for decorating it. So sorry, it doesn't look as good as it could, but if I added in all my little stuff, then it would essentially, you wouldn't have all these slots for all the function that it needs really to be upgraded with. So kind of a double-edged sword there, I guess. So other than that, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. I used it in game yesterday again. Especially I upgraded. I added 3 more rocket turrets to where it sits here, and I still got some more CPU available without, you know, quantum cores or anything like that. And I could add in probably some launchers or something on the front of this as well. Kind of curious how those Reforged Eden fixed homing rocket launchers work for HVs, if they're worthwhile or not for the CPU, basically. So that's about it for me today, and you guys have yourself a good day, and I'll probably have another video later on this week with more updates again. Hopefully I can make some real progress on this ship. I know there's a deadline too on the CV challenge too, and it's rough on building something like this. Maybe I was a little too ambitious, or it's too big or whatever, but yeah, I don't think it's too big. I think it's going to be a fun ship. I like the way that it's being designed more as like a military thing with access to all your thrusters for repairing and stuff like that. I haven't done that ever with a ship before, and I think it'll work. I mean, so you can like keep this maintained out in the field without bringing it to a repair bay on critical components and thrusters and things like that from the inside of the ship without even going out. And obviously you're going to have to go outside if you want to fix turrets and stuff, but not much I can do about that. Anyway, you all have yourself a good day. I will talk to you later.